Hey gang, welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. Today's video is part 47 in the Cobra Jet series, also known as Slither. However, I am not doing more sheet metal work at the moment. I wanted to share something with you. Previously I did a video, it was part 20 in the Cobra Jet series, and it was about the Mustangs to Fear Shelby style roll bar. Now, I had a lot of problems with that roll bar, and so much so that the video got attention from Mustangs to Fear. And so they contacted me and wanted to find out what was going on, why it wouldn't fit. And we went back and forth a few times to try to work this out and help them redesign a new roll bar for these cars. So today I look out in front of my garage and here's a box. And it's from Mustangs to Fear. And look, it says Fragile on it. So it must be Italian. You know, hey, Christmas Story was a great movie. You got to make fun of those little comments that they made there. However, I'm going to do an unboxing and show you what's inside of this box. And we're going to do another test fit of this Mustangs to Fear roll bar. There's some stuff in here. Well, it says hardware right on the box. So, nothing in that part. Here's the thing. I have the leftover roll bar and the brackets and stuff that they provided. But we're going to look inside of this little package and see what we have. Okay. So I have two steel plates, approximately 3/16 of an inch thick. I've got some new hardware. I've got some nut clips, some 5/16 bolts, and some washers and different stuff like that. Alright, so we're going to see how well this is going to fit. Now, if you remember in the last video, they had these sleeves, these like half sleeves, that were intended to wrap around this roll bar and basically hold it in place, and then you could put bolts through it. So I'm going to look at the base of this and see, and I'm kind of surprised because this is powder coated, and they had told me that they were probably going to send me a raw one. Thankfully, it's powder coated, so that's a bonus. I don't see any holes in the bottom here, which it shouldn't have because you're going to adjust that to your how it fits in your car. There is these tabs up on top, and those are for like seatbelt mounts. If you want to put in like a 5-point style harness, you can mount your seatbelts to this portion here, and then these tabs are meant to go in where your original seatbelts would have mounted. So I'm going to use part of that other kit, and we're going to see how well this fits. That's all that's in the box. Okay, so this is the new bar, and this is the old bar. And you can probably see in at least this video, coming across from the angle here, that this one sits taller than that one. Now, part of the problems I ran into previously was the width of the bar itself. That didn't want to fit in the car. But I also want to show you this height difference. So again, this is a mirror image. This is not facing the same way, but they should be the same height. So I have this one, and that's at 35¼ to the top of that plate. This one is at 34 1/8. This one is at 35¼ once again, and this one is at 34 and about 3/8. So there is some difference there. 34 1/8, 34 3/8. Was not expecting that, but that's okay because it's meant to be kind of adjusted inside of the car. Now, the big difference I think is going to be these pieces. If I do a comparison, you can look at it and just see this height difference and the brackets. This almost looks like it's angled up a little more than this one. So that's a big difference right there. I mean, just that alone. That's at 34 and about 1/4 to this top edge. This one's about 33 to this edge. And I have these just precariously standing up on their own, so I'm trying to be careful. This is a little bit over 33 1/8, roughly, to that edge. And this one is 34 and about 5/8. Now, the biggest thing that the problem I had was this bar was wider. I mean, I tried to squeeze it into the car and it would not go. So I think what I'll do is I'll stand these up on end and try to get another measurement. Don't mind the mess of the bench and stuff over here. Well, you know what? Let me just flip this all the way over. Okay, so I can get a measurement on that. And I can get a measurement on this. I can already see a big difference just in that. If I just look at this rough dimension and this dimension, wow, that's a huge difference. So if we look at the width of this, and I'll just come through here and I will go outside to outside, and this one is 55 3/4. 55 3/4. This one outside to outside. Whoop. This one outside to outside is 53 and about 3/4. 53 versus 55, right? Yeah, it's 2 inches difference. That is a huge difference. Now, as I talked to them at Mustangs to Fear, they pointed out that the design may be correct, but the tooling may have been off. There may have been something whenever they were bending these that it wasn't quite right. But I feel like they definitely did some change to make this work. Also, to show you, this is the bag of parts. So inside of this bag you have, I think, the same hardware, nut plates and stuff like that. And then these are the sleeves that I talked about. And you see they're radiused on one end, square on the other. And the idea is that if you take the plates that are provided, that are right here, the 3/16 plates, 3/16 plate is supposed to go down here on the floor of the car, right? And then these are meant to go beside that. Now you could probably put them in different directions, but you're gonna have to put bolts through these, and they provide the bolts. But the challenge I had was just getting the original bar in there. You can go back and look at part 20 and get a look at it. If you were to take, like I said, this plate will be the base, and then these wrap around. And then at that point it's up to you. You can adjust the height, sliding this up and down until you get it where you want it, and then drill holes and put bolts through these, or you can weld these directly to the roll bar if you want to keep it that way. That's basically how it works. So again, there's the kit for the one side, for the other side. This is the hardware These long bolts are the intended fastener bolts to go through here to hold that in. These are also grade 8. And then you got these nut clips up on top. And I believe those are meant for the seatbelt mounts. Now, this is the other kit that came with the new bar. I'm not gonna mix those up. Just to show you, we've got the same small bolts, same dimensions, nut clips, and then these socket head screws. Now, the thing is, these bolts here in this car are small, and we're going to look at the original car too and see how close these interact. So here's the original Mach 1, and if I go down to the side of here and I look up, these bolt holes, those are the correct size. So just know the original car would have taken this bolt. This is correct for what they would have provided from Mustangs to Fear. The one from Dynacorn, for some reason, has a small bolt in it, and I don't know why. So if you're going to be messing with the dynacorn stuff, you're going to have to step this up if you want to use these bolts. Otherwise, you have to get a smaller bolt in there. So just to show you, this is the small bolt. And that fits the dynacorn plate. I don't know why dynacorn is not putting in the right size. I've heard people have to step these up to try to make this work, or make these, you know, step them up, drill and tap these inserts to make them take the larger bolt. All right, we're going to see how well this fits inside the car. So we'll put the plates in where they're supposed to go. I'm not even going to demonstrate the old bar because I already know it won't fit. So we're not even going to go down that path. And then this bar, again, these tabs here are meant for your seat belts. So we're going to just take this into the car. See if I can get in there without too much effort. Okay, so we lift this up. Oh, look at that. It sits inside the frame rail, so that's automatically a bonus. Fits right inside. Okay, now since these bolts are, since I don't have, or the provided bolts, which are meant for the factory car, I'm not going to use those because I don't have these tapped. But I'm going to use these bolts just to hold it in place. So if I can show you with the camera. Just get that one up in place, just to hold it there. And then I'll put one on the other side. This is just temporary. Just temporary. Hopefully you can see this okay. All right. Now, you can see, hopefully see, depending where my camera's looking, this right now is angled, so you would want to push this back, and you can figure out where square is based on your sheet metal. So if I push these pads back to where I feel like square may be, right? In fact, look at that. That's pretty close. Oh man, this is much better. My knee. My knee hates me. So if we were to take again these pieces, and it's a matter of convenience, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember the specific instructions saying if you wanted these facing one way or the other. You know, I don't know if it's going to make a difference. It probably depends on how you want it to look. But you take these and, well, you know, if you put it back behind here like that, you're not going to get a bolt through. So that kind of self-explains it. You're not going to get a bolt because of this intersection. Put that like that, and that one like that. And now, you know, the reality is, if you're going to use this, these bolts are okay. But since you're going to have to weld this to the floor and weld these plates to that plate, it's not going to make a difference. You can turn this too. That might even help. Yeah, I like that better. It's not going to make really much of a difference if you're going to put the bolts in, because you can't take it out. Nothing's going to give. You can't raise it up high enough to clear this, which is fine. You're going to want to make it more permanent, but you can bolt it. I guess you could run the risk of, or chance of, removing it later if you wanted to. I will point out too, with this raised up to about as high as it's going to get, right now that lower hole looks like it may not even, oh, you know what? That's going to be a hard time getting that bolt in there. So you may have to experiment a little bit. Maybe angle it slightly if you're going to use the bolts. Because right now that's going under, almost under that bar. So play around with this, right? If you want to get those bolts in there, it may not, you know, I'm all about symmetry, but you may not have that option. Because with this, you can't get that bolt. At least I can't right at the moment with the bar in there. See, it's a tight fit. So you may have to consider that whenever you're doing this mock-up. Angle these slightly, right? And then you've got this angle to get all the way through for that bolt hole. Just a tip. But man, what a difference. They really did their homework on this. They really did. I may test fit this in the original car as well, just to see how well it fits. But yeah. Yeah, that's even back, so it doesn't interfere with the window much. You can still see out the window. I like it. Okay, it's a tight fit in here for me to get around this car, but that thing fits really nice, especially compared to that other one. So I did the same thing over there. I set the hammer just to hold it, and of course set the plates in place. So you can weld that in, and you got yourself the basics of a roll bar. Now if you wanted to, you could add more to one of these. You could add some struts here that go to the back of the car. You could put in a cross brace if you wanted to, but this gives you the foundation for what could be, you know, a helpful roll bar. Is it certifiable? I don't know if I'd go that far, but I know it's made from very good tubing, and yeah, they did a great job. All right, I haven't done a lot with Mustangs to Fear, and I want to give them a shout out for doing the right thing. Nobody should have to fight with one of these roll bars just to get it to fit. In fact, on the first video, the original owner of Mustangs to Fear commented that he said basically, well, you need to bend this, or you need to strap that, or you need to do this, you need to do that. And I said, no, if you're paying that kind of money for this product, it needs to fit the car. So shout out again to them for doing it right, getting with the customer and seeing what they could do to fix these things. Hopefully these are all consistent moving forward and they don't have any more problems. I would recommend getting one of these if you're interested, of course. Now, in the original kit, it also came with these plastic covers. And the intent of these is to go around the roll bar and kind of join your the top of your side panels. You know, you have your little filler pieces that go beside the seat. So these were in the original kit, not in the second kit, because they weren't going to send me another pair of these. But just know that you're going to have to modify some things to make everything work. In fact, your covers, you're going to have to create a hole for the roll bar to sit through, basically. And that's what this is for. It's supposed to come in and slide around the roll bar. And you can see it's got a slit up here at the top. I don't know how hard it's going to be. I have not tried this, but I don't know how hard it's going to be to spread this apart. I think obviously they've done some homework on it and should know, but these have to go on as well. Also, the hardware seems pretty good. The grade 8 hardware and the cap screw, those look like they're stainless, and it fits. So 2 thumbs up for Mustangs to Fear for making a better product. That'll be the end of this video. I want to thank you for watching. If you would, go check out my other videos. I have over 1,000 videos on this channel, and there's lots and lots of information about Mustangs, and of course some other cars too. But thank you for being here, and until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya. Fragile.